Let's take a look at this AP Top 25. Ohio State is now the hunted. They're number one. Numero uno. They are number one in the country. Ohio State, they've earned it. They played tough. They played sound football. They embarrassed Texas earlier this year. They made Arch Manning look like he was on the JV team in college. You know what I mean? And they took the air right out of his balloon early on. So Ohio State is your number one. Somehow, some way, Indiana, who got to play UCLA, the spoilers. Indiana, I'm not sure. Let me sidebar. If UCLA went out, one, you got to get that head coach, Tim Skipper, the job. I don't want to hear nothing else about it because he just quietly found a way to keep UCLA on track. I know the whole thing about the intern being a popular guy and backs being against the wall when the head coach gets fired, but UCLA is playing how we thought they would play at the beginning of the year against everybody else in conference play. They are playing spoiler. And as much and as sound and as good as Indiana's been playing, they better watch out this week. They better bring their P's and their Q's. They better not fall asleep on UCLA. Because if they do, it's going to be another one. And if UCLA takes out another top 25 school, even with their record, they got to get some votes to move up. That'd be crazy. To rip off 4 in a row against ranked opponents, man. Go ahead, UCLA. But Indiana, Texas A&M, they just keep rolling. Alabama quietly has rolled it up. Y'all remember when Kalen DeBoer was getting cursed at and death threats early on? Now they 6-1. Rolling on the tide. Georgia. Georgia. Keep bumping me against the wall. Since I've been talking, your man, who's quietly had a good year? Quietly had a good year is your man Julian Sand from Ohio State. I know I talked about Ohio State before, but he's quietly just done what he needed to do and just keeps winning and rolling on. You better watch out for him. Okay, now I had to get the right list because it was showing me the pictures, but I wanted to make sure that I was going down the list the right way. Georgia at number 5, number 6, Oregon. I mean, it was homecoming weekend at Rutgers, but I think Rutgers went away because they ran into a buzzsaw. I didn't see 56 points coming. Like they hung half 100 up on my Scarlet Knights. They took us to the woodshed, behind the woodshed, woodshed. So that's how far they took us. There wasn't much hope. I was surprised we got 10 points. I was like, when did we score a touchdown? At what point in junction in garbage time did we score? Because it just looked like everything was 3 and out. 3 and out, Oregon score. 3 and out, Oregon score. They could have put 70 up. Georgia Tech, number 7. Ole Miss at number 8. Miami falls. What's crazy is I was giving Carson Beck a lot of shout last week. I was bigging him up crazy. I was like, my man found it. Maybe he should have been at Miami. System matters, all this and all that. And then he went out and dropped the stinker. 4 interceptions. That last one was so egregious. They coming at him online because essentially it looks like he's blaming his teammates for the loss. He just wasn't seeing it that day. I don't know. Sometimes when I see these quarterbacks out here just doing crazy stuff, throwing all these crazy interceptions, I'd be like, somebody, they got a cold phone call from Vegas. They winning on the back end or something. Because 4 interceptions? Come on, bro. Vanderbilt at number 10. Y'all saw Diego Pavia talking greasy to Nick Saban. I'm telling y'all, I've been getting a lot of flack online. People like, oh, Nick Saban's not coming out. Miss Terry ain't gonna let Nick Saban come out of retirement. Keep sleeping. You keep sleeping. You think he won't go to Penn State. You think he won't go to Penn State. He gave a speech to James Franklin on College Game Day. Yo, it was wrong how they did you. I don't like that. You don't think he gonna take that job if the right number come his way? All right. Internet. We'll see. Hope it ages well. BYU at number 11. Notre Dame. Staying solid. Oklahoma. Texas Tech. I think Texas Tech lost. Who did they lose to? Lost to somebody. Somebody in the Big 12. I'll get back to it. Missouri, number 15. Virginia, number 16. 6-1. Go ahead, Tony Elliott. After that tragedy a few years ago, I'm happy to see Virginia is just doing what they need to do. The program is still moving. Happy to see Tony Elliott, an African American coach, sticking it in there, staying solid, and doing what he needs to do. Shout out to the Wahoos. I remember my boy Scooter went there, met Thomas Jones a couple years. Was it last year? We did an interview. So pretty cool guy. So I got a little love for the Wahoos. Tennessee, the Fighting Dennises, the Fighting Dennis Volunteers, did they thing this weekend. South Florida, staying solid. Louisville, the spoiler alert. Louisville did it to them. You know why Louisville was able to destroy Miami? Because they took all the Rutgers defense. They got like 4 of the Scarlet Knights. I'm looking at the Scarlet Knights this weekend like, dang, why the defense so bad? Oh, that's because all the defensive players play for Louisville. It's crazy. All the guys that should have been on Greg Schiano's defense, and one of them played for Miami. I was like, damn, if you would have had them 3 or 4 players on, because here's the question I have for Rutgers. Year in and year out, we always have a defensive stalwart that we look to. You know what I mean? No shade. I keep up with the program, and no shade to anybody that's been playing well. However, the one thing I realize is missing is that there hasn't been a name, that defensive stalwart, that person that like strikes fear into opponents, that can bring a team together and keep them head, shoulders, knees, and toes above in the game. We've had some tough games and then still made some plays here or there, but it just seems like there's just a lot of lay down with Rutgers this year. And I'm part of that. Just again, maybe just Louisville, Miami, a couple other people being able to pay players and get them out of there. I think what's my man? I can't remember. I think he's number 90, number 99. Imagine having him and Muhammad Torre. Man, sheesh. LSU took that fall. They had number 20. Cincinnati, Nasty Natty. Shout out to Cincinnati. Shout out to my boy Leo at Island Fridays. If you're at a University of Cincinnati home game, did you go in that parking lot? Need you to find the food truck, Island Fridays. What I need you to do is live your best life. Treat yourself to the best Caribbean food in Ohio. You hear me? In the whole state. The best Caribbean food in the whole state. Island Fridays. You will not be disappointed. If you're at the game, pull up, tell them Boom sent you. He'll give you a 10% discount. I don't know if he really gonna give you the 10% discount, but you know what I mean? Pull up to the Island Fridays food truck if you're at a University of Cincinnati home game. The best damn Caribbean food in Ohio. Period. Texas is at 5-2. Illinois is at I said 5-2. Texas is at number 22 at 5-2. Illinois is at number 23. Arizona State at number 24. And Michigan is at 5-2 at number 25. I feel like at this point, Michigan is still in the top 25 just for namesake. I just feel like there's some other teams that probably deserve to be up higher. Utah, I could definitely see them being up higher. Who else? Maybe Navy. Something like that. right now, Michigan is not playing their best version of themselves, but they're young. They're young, and so I get it. You know what I mean? I think y'all need to be patient with Bryce Underwood. This is his throwaway year. This is the year where he, as athletic and as good as he is, this is the year where he's going to do his most learning of the college football game. And next year, it's going to be lights out. But at the same time, Ohio State better watch out. I don't know what it is about that game, but for some reason, I don't care what they say. What is that? What's that saying? When them two get together, you got to throw the records out the window. And that has been true at least the last 2 out of 3 for Michigan and Ohio State. That's going to be a game to see still. Now, with Matt Patricia running the Ohio State defense, it might be a different story this year because they've been looking sound. Told y'all Julian saying is quietly coming to his own at Ohio State. He's getting comfortable with Jeremiah Smith, and that's all one can ask for. And so, yeah, college football, top 25.